So good morning YouTube. If you haven't done it already, please subscribe, ring the little bell, and if you can like our videos, if you've got any questions, drop us a comment below. Be happy to help. So today we're doing a video, we're going back in time. So get a few questions asked why I've built the last couple of buildings, pole barn, timber frame, and I've used recycled materials. Well, if we go back 4 years, I got prior approval, permitted development for this first agricultural building here. It's 40 by 20 steel frame. So we've got the prior approval, no problem, 28-day prior approval. We had a budget of £5,000, which at the time we thought was very realistic, doing all the work ourselves, not paying anybody. And then it all went wrong. So 4 years ago, you know, we basically got the permission, we had the money there, we got prices, and the prices for the steel frame itself varied from £1,100 right up to £11,000, the dearest being a local well-known company in Dumfries and Galloway. Now, we paid the first contractor, who was based just over the water in Ireland, to build the frame. It was supposed to be delivered, and 6 weeks later on the delivery date, he basically blocked our phone numbers, couldn't get hold of him, and luckily we'd paid him through PayPal. He wanted us to do bank transfer, but we'd paid him through PayPal. We had to go through all that rigmarole, took us about 6 weeks, because it was for like an item outside of eBay. We got the money back, and then we had to find a new contractor to build the steel frame. So the hunt was on. Again, quotes were ridiculous, £3,500 just for the 3 portal frames for the building. We eventually got a guy at Thornhill, Michael Keane, MK Weldon. He came in, you know, very good price, and he actually built it to our spec. You know, everything's oversized, shot blasted, painted, really good steel frame, and he delivered it to site. So that was the start of this building. Now, you know, we didn't get started till the following May. It was a very wet winter. You know, we didn't have our own machinery at the time. We had to hire in a digger and a dumper. The dumper broke, you know. Again, we didn't have machinery when it came to lay concrete. Really difficult. A lot of shoveling, a lot of raking. And that's it really, you know. So it was a learning curve. So £5,000 didn't go far. You know, by the time we'd put the concrete in, put the frame up, it went up very quickly. You know, frame went up one Saturday. The purlins went on the same day with the teleporter. Steel roof went on the next Saturday. And it was really, really quick. So I'm going to stop just now and roll a few photos from the past. You'll see what the yard looked like before we started. You'll see the building, you know, in the phases of building. So I'll run that video, and then we'll join you again in a couple of minutes. Right, so now you've seen like the build process of putting the steel frame building up. I've already explained, you know, it's 40 foot by 20 foot. It's around 80 square meters, 800 square feet. Steel portal frame building. So as you've just seen in the photos, concrete pad stones that the steel sit on, foundations for the dwarf walls, and you know, it's quite a nice building. It's been up here 3 years this month, and it's stood the test of time. We couldn't get the right colour roof sheets for the planners, so we had to get white ones. I think they're actually called alkali grey, and we had to paint them with Paint Master paint. But you know, it's still a good shed. But the learning curve really was, the budget for this was 5,000. We had to get it up over the summer. We purchased everything new roof sheets, new purlins. On the outside it was larch for the Yorkshire boarding, concrete blocks up to about 5 foot. But even with no labour doing it all ourselves, help from a couple of friends, it cost £11,200 by the time we'd got it clad with the Yorkshire boarding and got the doors on the front. Now, once we'd got this building up, we got 2 tractors in it and the quad bike and a couple of generators, our small tools. You'll see from one of the photos I'll roll in a minute that it was just stables here before. We didn't have any room to put any hay, so we vastly miscalculated the size of the building we required. So we started looking to build another building. So this one here is 60 foot by 50 foot. Now, to go down the steel frame route, all new materials, it was basically going to cost us about 40,000 again doing the labour ourselves, so we had to look at how to cut corners. So went back to thinking about pole barns. When I grew up, all the buildings on the farm I grew up in Staffordshire, they're pretty much all pole barns. The more modern buildings were steel frame, but the ones my granddad built, they were telegraph poles. You know, purlins came from the local sawmill, some were second hand, and it was just wrinkly tin on the roof and fairly rudimentarily built. But we moved up here in 1999 to Scotland, and the buildings my granddad built in the 1950s were still standing, and they've actually only just been pulled down recently when the new purchaser made them into barn conversions. So this building here, it's 60 by 50, and it's basically cost me about £10,000 for the building. So some new timber on the roof, most of the roofing sheets are second hand, new timber on the sides, telegraph poles and hardcore, and then it's cost me an additional 6,000 to concrete the floor. We didn't really need to concrete the floor, but I just thought it's better for working on. You know, if you're pulling an engine out of a tractor or something, it just makes it a lot nicer. So the concrete was a luxury. It's really just for storing tractors, hay, feed stuff, you know, just keep everything out of the rain, because round here the winter's bad. You know, it's lovely just now, everything's dry, no rain for about a month, apart from a few spots yesterday. But come winter, everything floods. You know, leave a tractor outside, rains in the electrics, it's not good. So that's why we've gone down the pole barn route on the last 2 buildings. It's just economy, can't afford to spend that sort of money. So we'll have a look at the steel portal frame building. So it's in 2 bays, 2 20-foot bays. The RSJ uprights are 8 by 6s, so it's massively over-engineered. Yorkshire boarding on the sides. We made a fascia and soffit out of larch to hang the gutters on. I just wanted it a bit further away from the Yorkshire boarding so we didn't get drips. Concrete floor. It's a bit untidy just now because we're building elsewhere. So we've got 3 of these frames. braced. Roof purlins are a 9x3. And I don't know why, but this is just a tin roof, but we don't get any condensation issues in this building. If anybody else thinks to know why, drop a comment below. But in the other pole barn, we do get some condensation dripping from the roof sheets in the middle of winter, but this one is bone dry. It's lovely actually. So 9x3. The outside is clad by larch. It's pressure treated. Now, because of the wind, we were getting driving rain coming straight through the building and soaking everything, so we've overclad it at the back, and we've started overcladding it at the front, just with some softwood to cover the gaps, just because there is no livestock in it. We just wanted the Yorkshire boarding because I thought it looked good at the time. Now the breeze block walls are the 6-inch concrete blocks. So this was a 12-foot building, but I sunk the steels 2 foot in the concrete. They were bolted down into a pad stone, which was 900 by 900 by 900 deep, so there's plenty of concrete under them. They weren't going anywhere, but I still like to get a couple of foot of concrete around the bottom of the steel so they don't sway. So 6-inch concrete blocks up to 5 foot, and then the Yorkshire boarding's 5 foot coming down. So as I say, you know, 80 square metres, this cost 11,200. Today, it would probably cost about 18,000 because the price of steel, the price of timber and the price of cement has gone up phenomenally. So, hopefully you enjoyed the video. Any comments, like I say, drop below, and enjoy the rest of the photos. Thanks for watching Lochnaw Smithy.